Hello and welcome to another episode of Front End Horse Live. It is Wednesday. That means it is Component Carousel. And we are building out a super cool game component, the whole experience, multiplayer thing with Opher Vishnia. Opher, I am so excited to have you here. What you put together for us is super cool. You've been teasing a little on Twitter, but Opher, thank you for coming on, man. How you doing? How's it going?
Thank you for having me. I've been doing great. I've had pizza. I've gotten a haircut, and this has been a fantastic day. And this is a great way to continue that.
I don't know if I can top pizza and a haircut. That's pretty like, you're groomed, you're feeling good, you're looking good, and then pizza. It might be downhill from there, man. I'm sorry.
I don't know. Like grooming is one way. Pizza, kind of does the opposite. I'm trying to balance.
Yeah, I'm just
out.
not sure what I bring to that balanced diet of hygiene and also delicious calories. Hairy pizza. Yeah, right. That's ice cream and a shower. That's another one. Okay, we've got a lot of Amit says that Opher and I played with the same egg roll. What does that mean? Do you know?
The same egg roll?
Amit
the
Sheen
band?
says,
egg roll band? The same egg roll musician, drummer?
I don't know. I'm not sure. Maybe they will explain that. Egg roll equals Gil Iden. Oh.
Yeah, Gil Dan is a drummer, fantastic musician. That was in my band for about three years.
Oh, cool.
And just a lovely person in general. And I knew Amit was also a drummer. I did not know Amit was playing with him. And I'm kind of curious right now because how does it work when you have two drummers in a band?
It's just a lot of drum solos. I think that's called a drum circle, and that's super cool. Small world.
Drum line.
Yeah, thank you, drum line. Best Michael B. Jordan movie? Maybe. No, I'm thinking of someone else. No, that was a Nick Cannon movie. No. Anyway, we're moving on. I'm sorry. I apologize to Michael B. Jordan. I apologize. Amit is not a drummer. You do have a drum set, though. We are getting a little off topic.
I saw the CSS thing,
yeah. Yeah. Opher.
Yeah.
Can you introduce yourself to people who might not know who you are?
Sure. Yeah. So I'm a creative developer at a company called Echo, which does all sorts of cool things with interactive video. And my interests lie in a wide gamut of things from web design and design in general, and coding, and video games and art and graphics and music. I play guitar and drums and everything that has to do with just being creative in general. I kind of never really figured out what I want to do when I grow up. So
you've got time. You've got plenty of time. Yeah, it's fine.
Yeah, so I went for everything.
So David in chat, first off, great to see you, David. And Thomas is here. So many good people here. Great to see you all. David's already found your website and has pointed out what a cool experience it is. So when I first landed, I was like, oh, this is a cool swipey back and forth thing. It must be a shader that just kind of swipes back and forth, or maybe a SVG. I don't know. Pretty neat though. What's this button? Create world. Not many personal portfolios have this. You gotta try that out. So you click that button, and then you realize that that swipey thing was actually that octa or that multi-sided dice looking thing, and then it brings you here. And this is this a game of life? What?
So I have this obsession with biology simulations, and when I was studying design in the Betzalel Academy of Arts, my thesis project, it was kind of a version of this. I was kind of fascinated with the whole concept of evolution and how different biomes work, and this this is actually like a working biome where we have different creatures with different traits, and they each like do their own thing, and everything is like the traits are procedurally generated. So you have like the green ones are poisonous from what I see now.
Yeah.
And there's one that's dying over there, the one that's blinking. And
Yeah.
essentially, when like a creature dies, it releases food or energy into the wild, and other creatures try to eat that. And it's like a little aquarium of your own. The version that I had in my thesis version was actually like you could actually create portals between worlds, and then different creatures could move from biome to biome. Kind of, you would see what would happen in like different aquariums.
That's amazing.
And yeah, and like doing this with web technology just allows you to give someone a URL to one of these experiences, and they're just there. And I think that like that's one of the coolest things that we have with web technology. It's just you just give someone a URL, and they're in the interactive experience. They don't need to download anything.
Yeah.
They don't need to worry about like incompatibility with the computer or whatever. And I have a lot of other different types of biology simulation, but this was one that I just had to put on my site.
It's so cool. It's such a cool idea for a personal website. And like when you said that you were gonna make a multiplayer thing, like a game, like a simulation thing, I'm like the perfect person for it. Real quick, David, thank you so much for cheering those bits. Really appreciate it. And then Abracadabra, thank you so much for the 6 months of tier 1. Really appreciate it. Chat is already just popping off and really excited about your personal site. I just need to share your personal site every time. Chat is loving this.
Yeah. If you refresh, you get a different world.
That's what I was about to ask. Do I get, because you said, oh, it seems like those are poisonous. So that tells me that not every time do I get poisonous ones, but they might have a different trait, is what you're saying?
Different traits, so you get a similar
These
biome.
Are spiky ones now.
Yeah. These ones are kind of dangerous. You won't want to...
poisonous and spiky this time.
Yeah, and there's like 3 sort of things, and there's like an ice world, and there's like,
So cool. So, yeah, first off, just like caught my eye with this awesome personal site that like I have not seen anyone have an entire like world that like breathes and lives and dies as their personal site. So first off, incredibly original and just really, really cool. And
thank you.
Yeah. And from this, like, what are we getting into today? Because I know chat can see it says make a multiplayer elimination game. They might have read the description or something about Spore. David said Spore, and I totally agree.
Yeah, this was one of the influences.
Awesome.
Yeah, for sure.
Yeah, I thought like when you said you like biology kind of games, that's kind of a classic in that genre. And Tom, good to see you. Tom says the tilt shift effect is really nice, and I totally agree.
Yeah, so
as a cool.
So 3JS has a lot of community contributed shaders and effects, and that's also something cool that we have in our web development ecosystem that you can just plop that. So I didn't develop that on my own. I found that shader, and it just like fit perfectly into the theme. We'll also be doing some of that later with
interesting
with our game. Getting like ready-made code, putting it in, and building from building blocks that other talented people contributed. So
awesome.
That's awesome. Really cool.
Well, I don't like honestly. I could sit and chat about this and like ask you questions about this, but I also don't. Wait, are those eggs? See, I could keep going. I could see. Yeah, those were eggs, and they turned into. It's a super cool thing, but I don't want you to be crushed for time on the actual project that you came to build with us.
Right.
Yeah, and Fox Murdoch says doing this with a JavaScript library seems more performant than Godot or Unity projects exported for the web. That makes sense to me. And then Ryan says, just wait until the red ones develop nukes. The green ones never saw. Yeah, just a nice little arms race of these creatures. Super cool. So
yeah, just like wait 2 or 3 million years, and then you can do that.
It's Civ 5 or 6 or 7. Yeah. Awesome. So yeah, please check out this awesome personal site that is like a mini Spore if you're not already there. But Opher, what are we working on today?
Okay, like I said earlier, one of the things I love about the web is the fact that you can just give someone a URL and then they're in the experience. And since we have chat with us today, I thought, wouldn't it be nice to have chat included, not just in the chatting portion of the show, but actually,
As
being
players, as
interactive with us and reach.
participants.
Yeah, yeah,
Yeah.
yeah. So we're going to be building a multiplayer game. I'll explain the air quotes in a
Okay.
second. And it's going to be this experience where you log in, you get a monster, an avatar of a monster that was procedurally generated. I'll explain exactly what that means in a little later. You can move around. The basic gist is that if your monster is big, and you meet a small monster, you eat that, and you get even bigger. If we'll get the time, we'll add some power-ups that make you like do cool stuff. And it's all real time in the sense that if you move your avatar on the screen, someone else in the experience will see your avatar move roughly at the same time. And and this is where I get to talk a little about the whole air quote thing and about what real time means. Because I feel I need to give a disclaimer because everyone that's been here, you've been lied to your entire life. You see, multiplayer games, real-time multiplayer games, aren't actually real-time. In the sense that, I don't know, if you're playing a game, if you're friends, in like not a turn-based game, but like a game that has your avatar moving, and you have other people, whether it's an MMORPG like Warcraft, or maybe like it's a I don't know a MOBA like a League of Legends or something like that. You get the illusion that everyone is seeing the exact same thing on their screen. They're not. They're seeing something that is plausible to give that effect. And the reason is physical. It's really simple. Let's say that, I don't know, I'm here in Tel Aviv and someone else is playing in Melbourne, Australia. Okay, there's a physical distance between those two places, right? And the fastest information can travel through is the speed of light. If you take like a bit of data and try to move it at the speed of light, it doesn't happen instantaneously over large distances. So add to that routers, computers,
Right.
and also the things. So essentially, there is always a delay of information between computer systems. And that means that the whole real-time thing might be true for LAN parties where you're physically in the same room together. But over the internet, there's some really interesting trickery to make things appear as if everything is happening at the same time. And we'll be doing some of that today. The other reason for the air quotes is that we'll be using Firebase, and Firebase is not the right tool to create multiplayer games. It's a real-time database in the sense that, like, if you update it, it gets really updated real fast in all of the clients.
Okay.
But like, it's not really designed for fast-paced games or games in general. That it's not really that sort of infrastructure. So we'll kind of be shoehorning it into doing our bidding. And I'm using this here because it has really convenient APIs from doing just what we want to do, updating state across different clients. It's just that it doesn't do that as fast as we'd love to, but we have some trickery to make that appear nicer.
Cool. Awesome.
Yeah. The other component is Pixi.js. Pixi is a client-side rendering library that uses Canvas and WebGL to do all sorts of interesting stuff. Have sprites move around, do filters. Essentially, it's like I don't know. Yeah, you got it. It lets you create these interactive experiences that are like have more, I don't know, more fidelity than just using plain old CSS and JavaScript, rather doing something very.
It's probably GPU like accelerated, right? So it's gonna run a bit faster and
some things are, yeah.
Got it.
Stuff that runs on WebGL is GPU accelerated.
Got it. Yeah, so
So
better
yeah,
than HTML, CSS. If these were all just DOM elements and we're shifting
not
those around.
better. It's just like the tool for the job.
Yeah, cool. Awesome. Yeah, I'm excited to dig in. How do we want to start here?
Yeah, so just let's open up a CodePen,
Cool.
and I'll send you over some boilerplatey stuff.
Sounds good. Is there anything I need to add to the settings of this
Yes,
CodePen?
yes, I completely forgot about that.
No worries.
And I will also need to send you that. So there's two things. Hold on, let me just look into my reference. So
Add
that
extra horses to the settings. Ryan, I like your style.
one sec. In the meanwhile, I'll paste you the stuff that you need to paste on. On Discord. Wait.
There we go.
Okay.
All right. So you're sending it to me through Discord, right?
Yeah. Okay. So there you are. So that's your message is too long. Did not know that Discord had
Interesting.
Okay.
That's
Okay.
just
Let's
gonna
try to
copy and paste me a
two messages.
or that or
That's
yeah.
the one.
Okay.
Simple solutions to silly problems.
Got it.
Okay, that's the one. That's the other. And
If you use
just
triple
in 1 sec.
backticks, that'll stop it from formatting.
Oh, okay, good to know. And here's the other.
Yeah, it'll put it in like a code block. Tip to the viewers: Discord and Slack are really good with triple ticks. I'm pretty sure Pixi is responsible for most of my PC sweats. Yes, and guess what? You can use Nitro to write longer messages. Oh, interesting. I have Nitro, so I wasn't sure. Yeah, I was not sure if that was the case. Okay, cool. So adding that link.
Yeah, so there's two URLs for the JavaScript section.
Am I
one
putting that
is as the Pixi library,
cool?
the browser version of the Pixi library.
Cool.
The other is Pixi filters, which is like a collection of community generated filters or essentially shaders. That's pretty much it.
Okay.
Yeah.
And so the rest goes into the JavaScript area, right?
Yeah, we have some like CSS housekeeping to do, like set the HTML and body to padding 0, margin 0. Let's see what are the other boilerplate stuff that we need to do. Let me have a look-see. Yeah, HTML and body, padding margin to 0 in the CSS. Width and height 100% on both.
Padding margin 0. Width, you said 100%?
Yeah, width and height 100%. And also same these for the canvas. So canvas also width and height 100%.
Cool.
Yeah.
All right, got that.
Okay, cool. So we're ready to just take a look at the JavaScript stuff, and I'll just quickly skim over the stuff that we're doing with like on the boilerplate, what exactly is going on there.
Cool.
First, credits of stuff and images that I'm using. First, for the procedural monster avatars, which are I found this really cool thing that the person with the alias Deepfold made. He made like a code in Godot that generates these procedural monsters with like a cellular automata thing.
Cool.
I'll send you there's a good cool link for that on an online version of that thing. I have a link ready. There we go. Okay, I'm sending it in.
No worries. We will see them soon enough.
Yeah. Okay.
Yeah. No rush on
And the
that.
other thing is just some power-up icons
Cool.
for the power-ups that we'll hopefully get to. And then we get some Firebase initialization code, getting all the functions, importing all the stuff, and then some functions for one, generating a unique identifier that we use for the players.
Okay.
Another is a function that generates one for you for every person that joins, and also saves that via local storage. So if you get disconnected or if you refresh,
nice.
you can just pick up where you left off. And then we have a function that you input a string and you get an integer back. It's a hash function that allows you to map your unique ID to the array of 3,000 monster avatars that I pre-generated for the show.
Nice.
So so there's that.
All right. So chat, you can only invite 3,000 friends. We're capping it at 3,001. All right. Just letting you know.
And lastly, just a convenience function that, given a unique identifier, gets you the name, which is also
cool.
From a pool of names, and also like the number, like the index of your monster avatar, whatever.
Cool.
And then there's some stuff that we'll get to later that has to do with collisions and stuff.
Nice.
And lastly, keys and URLs, not too very interesting stuff. And we can get to writing stuff.
Awesome.
Yeah. So are you ready? Are you ready, Alex?
Yeah. So last thing, chat, before we get started, just remember we have an I wonder, and I appreciate Aaron for putting it in before. I wonder how he's doing this so well. I don't know. So if you type !I wonder in chat, it'll show up here and we can grab it for later. So if you have any questions, but we're like really focused and laser here, drop it with that ! You might have questions about Firebase or about anything. Put it here. We'll catch it at the end of the show. So just know that's our way, so that like I don't stop Opher and say, hey, someone has a question when he's like really rolled along, but also we don't miss your questions. So that's it. I'm ready to jump in. Let's get going.
Yeah. Okay. So let's jump in. We'll start with doing some setting up Pixi and getting a background with a cool effect to get the engines heated up.
Okay.
So let's start with let's do Pixi in uppercase. Pixi is just generally in uppercase.
Do we want to start down here, like after everything? Cool.
Yeah. Pixi.settings dot Pixi uppercase. Yeah.
So
all uppercase.
Okay. That was my settings.
Cool. Dot settings, dot, and also in uppercase, scale _ mode equals, again, Pixi dot in uppercase scale modes in plural, dot nearest in uppercase. This is just some setup because we're dealing with pixel art sprites. Then when you scale them up, you want to do a different type of scaling that doesn't smooth things over, because then they look kind of blurry. Yeah. Cool. Next, let's do let app equals new Pixi dot application with capital A, and open up parentheses and then curly brackets.
Cool.
And put in resize 2.
Like that?
Yep.
Cool.
Colon window. This will resize the canvas just to the viewport of the CodePen, so that we don't have to deal with that. It's a nice
awesome
Pixi offers.
It's handy.
And then document body append child.
Cool.
With app.view. Cool. Now, if we run this, we have nothing, which is great because we have like an empty Pixi canvas to work with.
Awesome. So we just added it into the body, right?
Right. Yeah. So now let's add a background. So we have something nicer to look at than just a black thing.
The void.
Let's do let background equals Pixi dot sprite capital S dot from and do in uppercase background URL with an underscore.
So from and then like in parentheses or
Yeah. Background if all uppercase.
thank you. You did say that.
Yeah.
Cool.
And the next line we should be app.stage. Dot add child with background. Now we should see. Cool. Yeah. Great. So we have our little background thing.
Sorry about the
we
flashing
can do...
chat. I'll try to keep the resizing to a minimum. As I resize, it like flashes really brightly, so I'll try to not do that.
Yeah, when we get to the multiplayer stuff, we might want to do just like run just on click rather than on save because the server would go crazy every time we do that. But we have time for that.
Cool.
So let's like make this image a little larger.
Okay.
Let's do background.height equals window.inner height.
Cool. Same thing for width.
Background, yeah. And I'm cutting some corners here because it's not going to fit exactly with the aspect ratio and whatever, but we'll find. We're doing a lot of corner cutting to there for the sake of getting this to work. Cool. So now we have our image.
Awesome.
But we can do a little better. It kind of feels dead and not like in the narrative sense, but in the sense that it doesn't move.
Right.
So let's set up something called filters in Pixi, which is essentially like a container around shaders. So there are these community contributed shaders. Some of them come with Pixi, some of them you can add on. And the nice thing about those is that there's like a really cool like demo that you can kind of play with to see what to put in your project.
Cool.
This is actually something nice that we can share with everyone. Let me just super quickly share that because we can just show. Okay, yeah. So it's over there at the Discord.
Cool. Whoa.
So you see that's like the Pixi shader demo, and you can like click on one of the right to try like a hash or just just do some of those. Some of those are more interesting than the others.
Let's see a blur. There we go. Yeah, that did what I expected.
Yeah.
Oh, an ASCII filter. That's really cool.
Yeah, that's very cool.
That's wild. Dot filter. Oh, these are cool. Wow. And you just throw it on top and all of a sudden
just plug them in. Yeah.
Wow. Okay.
Yeah. So we're gonna use something called a displacement filter to get some like heat wave effect to our little desert scene.
Yeah, and you can really warp it. Awesome. All right, so the displacement filter, got it.
Yeah. So So next thing we do is do let displacement sprite.
Let
equals Pixi.sprite.from. Exactly like we did earlier. Yeah.
Cool.
Perfect. And it's displacement underscore sprite underscore URL all in caps.
Awesome. And that was already pulled in here. Cool.
Yeah. If you want to take a look at that real quick, just to understand like what it is that we're pulling. It's just like this cloudy image.
Photoshop clouds, basically.
Yeah. Render cloud twice and you get that.
Yeah, bingo.
And we use this not as an image, but rather we use the lightness and darkness data of the image to have the shader figure out where to displace each pixel. So it looks at like every pixel value, and if it's lighter, then it moves it like this way. If it's darker, it moves it that way. And then when you get like the image, that's the template on how to move stuff around.
Got
We'll
it.
see that in a second. Let's do displacement sprite dot texture dot base texture, yeah, dot wrap mode equals Pixi again dot wrap underscore modes, all uppercase, remember, yeah. I promise we'll stop with the uppercase shenanigans soon.
Oh, good.
Dot repeat. And now let's do let displacement filter equals new Pixi.filters dot displacement filter with capital D, capital F, with parentheses and our displacement sprite.
Okay,
Cool.
so yeah.
So we're just creating a new filter. It doesn't. We don't see anything yet. But we will soon. We need to do some small housekeeping, like actually adding that to the stage and then animating it, and then we'll get the cool effect. We're almost there. Okay, so displacement sprite dot scale dot y equals 0.6. Same for x.
Cool.
And now app.stage.addChild with displacement sprite.
So we scaled it down, and then we're adding it to our app.
Yeah, we're just like making it a little, so the waves are a little smaller. It's just like a an aesthetic thing. Just adding it to the stage. And now let's actually add the filter. So we do background.filters with an array that just has displacement filter in it.
So parentheses array displacement filter?
No, equals filters is you set the array to filters. Yeah.
Cool. Thank
So
you.
what this means is that background, which to remind you is a sprite that contains the background.
It's working.
We set it's working, but it's static. So you see like stuff is kind of wobbly now.
Yeah, let's turn it off now. You can see that this line is straight here, and then
Cool. So essentially, what we just did, we added a filter to the background sprite, and that like the shader now takes care of doing that wobbliness with the image, the cloudy thing. So now let's just make it move, awesome. And we get this really impressive effect for free. Cool. So let's do app.ticker.add, and with it a function that takes the parameter delta. We're not going to use it. We just put it because that's what it takes.
Cool.
And we do, forgot one thing before that. Before app.ticker, let's do let count equals 0.
Cool.
And now we do displacement sprite.x equals count times 5. Same for y. And then count plus equals O.05.
Cool.
Ta-da!
It's like a really neat heat wave effect, chat.
Yeah.
It might be a little subtle for you coming in through the screen, but look close. I think you'll be able to see it. You can
change the count to play it with it a bit, or
you can change a couple things, right?
Scaling.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah. So this would make it more like big movements, where this is kind of like a small heat wave effect, and then this would speed it up, right?
Yeah.
Yeah.
So
awesome.
Essentially, what's happening here is that we have that like cloudy sprite, and we changed the wrapping so that when it moves, when you move the sprite, it just wraps around itself, so it's never
Got
like
it.
blank. And because we move it around all the time right now, then it uses that to displace all the background.
Awesome.
And the cool thing is like we didn't need to write anything other than the code that animates it. So we
Right.
just pick up a ready-made filter, and we're good to go.
Kind of reminds us, so like I'm much more familiar with SVG filters, and they have a displacement filter, so it's a similar kind of thing, right?
Yeah, for
Awesome.
sure.
That's
That's
great.
Angular brackets though.
What?
Less Angular brackets.
Oh, got it. Yeah, yeah.
Cool. So are we ready to do some actual multiplayering?
Yeah, I'm excited to get chat involved and just have them just go wild on it. It's going to be a good time. Corey,
Cool.
whoa! Thank you again for 2 months and 2 days, Corey. Appreciate it. I think you just subbed yesterday, man. Wow! Thank you for all these subs. How quick do they expire, dude? You're too kind. Thank you, man. Yeah, I am ready. Let's get to some player movement. Let's get people fired
Let's
up.
do that. Okay, so first, let's see, where do we actually start? Okay, let's create the function that adds the avatar. And before we do that, I just want to give some quick background on actually what it is that we're doing to give some context. So essentially, we have a Firebase database that's going to hold a list of world objects, and world objects are going to be like your monster, the other monsters,
Okay.
power-ups if we get to that, so that when someone else joins the game, they get the updates from the server, from that database, and they can display whatever it is that everyone else is seeing.
Awesome.
In addition to that, we're going to keep a list of the local objects. So it's going to be the same list of the same things, but we're going to use the two lists, like one that comes from the server and the other that we keep locally, to kind of sync them both together in a way that makes it appear as if everyone's seeing the same thing. So if let's say some player moved in the server, right, and locally your player appears like where's okay,
It's
we
tough.
have one player here and one player here. You don't want to make the jump like instantaneous when you update stuff from the server, because otherwise it won't feel very real-timey and seamless. So we're keeping two separate lists, one of the current state of what we have in the client, and the other is what we just pulled from the server. And we're just gonna slowly interpolate from what the data that we got to the data that we have. And that way we're gonna be able to render just just the delta, the change. So over time, it'll be more similar to what happens in the server,
Got
not
it.
instantly. And that creates the effect that like everything moves smoothly, even though it's a lie. It's a big fat lie.
And I think it's so like what you're describing is also the reason that when I'm playing a multiplayer online game and like say I get disconnected or someone else gets disconnected, and if they were walking, they just continue walking forever, right? Because like they already had a velocity, they already had a trajectory, and my computer is guessing,
So
all right, well they
that
didn't stop
depends.
that.
Yeah, that's called extrapolation. That's a
Okay.
method in which you kind of run the same simulation both on the server and on the client. It's a
Right.
little more complex and involved than what we're doing here.
Got it. Okay.
Here, the only thing we're doing is trying to like smooth things over
Oh,
when
and
you
that's
get the
where the
data, so
lerp.
the things don't jump. Yeah,
Cool. Okay.
exactly.
Cool.
Yeah, perfect. And the other thing I want to mention, we'll do that actually. We'll do that in a second. Let's
All right.
first create the avatar. Okay, so let's do function create avatar that takes UUID.
Cool.
Let's player data equals get player data
That's a function we
with
have defined.
UUID.
Already. Cool.
Yeah. Then let avatar name equals player data.name. Then let new avatar equals Pixi.sprite.from, like we did earlier.
Is it all capital Sprite? No, Sprite.
No, it's just large capital S, and from is a regular. Just, yeah.
Cool.
And in parentheses, let's see how I describe that. So we have like a string template. The first one is like a dollar with avatar base URL. It's all uppercase, and
like
yeah,
that?
you got that.
Cool.
Then after slash avatars slash dollar again with avatar name, small camel case.
Cool.
.png. So that's just like fetching the URL of your specific avatar based on your ID, because it's on my server somewhere.
Got it. Okay, so you got a whole folder of these monsters on
exactly.
Awesome.
Yeah. Next we do new avatar.anchor.set.
New avatar.anchor, you said?
Yep. And that's a function that takes two parameters, both being 0.5 twice, yeah. And now we do okay, so this is just like creating the sprite for the monster itself. Now we create one for the name that will appear above the monster.
Okay. So is this like the transform origin in a sense?
Exactly.
Cool.
That's exactly that. So we do let's name tag equals new pixi.text. Text is just capital T.
Cool.
A function that takes avatar name and then an object with font family, camel case, a value of Arial in a string. And then font size, camel case, let's do 16. Fill, let's do 0x5 6 times. It's a F 6 times. And that's not a string. It's an octet. So just remove the parentheses.
Oh yes, so it's cool.
And finally, align with a string center. Yeah, align, as in to align something.
Thank you.
Yeah. Cool. We do name tag .anchor.set to 0.5, same thing like we did with the avatar. And now we do name tag .y equals -60. That's going to put the text above the monster.
Okay.
Cool. Now we do let container equals new Pixi container with capital C. And that's empty parentheses.
Cool.
Next is container.addChild. One for the new avatar, one for the name tag.
So avatar.
Just new avatar, yeah. No. So it's two different lines.
Got it. Thank you. Cool.
Yeah.
Cool. Thank you, David.
Perfect. Thank you for spotting that.
Yeah.
And finally, we do return container.
Okay.
So essentially, there's a function that you give it a UID. It creates a new container which contains two sprites. One is the monster, and one is a tag for the name. Cool. Perfect. Now let's actually start with the multiplayer stuff. So okay. So there's two functions that we need before we can see anything. The first one is getting the data from the server, because we want to get the most recent data of the objects in the world, and only then start doing stuff, because you might not be the first person entering the game. So we start by fetching data from
Firebase.
Firebase. Yeah, I was like Firefox, and I'm like, that's not what we do.
Yeah.
Okay, so we do get. That's a function that gets that first parameter is child. That's also a function with a first. Yeah, that's the first parameter of that is a ref. That's also a function. And ref gets db. Now put a comma after the ref one. No, outside that, and in a string that says world objects in camel case.
Interesting.
Okay. Yeah. So essentially, this is just the Firebase way of doing like an asynchronous fetch to get the data from DB is not defined. Why is it not defined? Let me see what. Oh, yeah, because we didn't define it. So just before that function, just before that function, we need to add two things. One is we run initialize app.
Okay.
With Firebase config. That's one of the constants that we have from before. And the other line is const db equals get database. Cool. So now we should be able to get the data. So this is actually a promise. So you can just do then. And we then takes something called the initial snapshot.
Okay, so not a function.
It's a function that gets initial snapshot as the first parameter. Yeah, and yeah, so that's a function. Initial snapshot is the input value. Yeah. No. Do an arrow after initial snapshot.
Yeah, trying. Sorry, my keywords.
Yeah. All good.
I'm blaming my keyboard. It's me. It's my fingers.
Perfect. So this means like once we get the data from the server, we can do something interesting with it. Cool. So let's do some more setup after the const db. Let's initialize a couple of variables. One, we'll call it let player avatar. The other would be world objects. Just initialize it to an empty object. Third one would be remote world objects, also an empty object.
Cool.
Cool. So let's go back to in our initial snapshots, and we're doing our remote world objects equal initial snapshot. Yeah, sorry for that bip. It's getting a little warmer here, so
all good.
All this Firebase stuff is hitting me up. Sorry about that. That was an awful pun.
Chat, do we allow awful puns here, or do we encourage them? We encourage them.
You can also allow offer puns.
Nice. See? Just lead into it. That's what we do here.
I'm sorry. No, I'm not. Okay, so initial snapshot dot val. It's a function.
Cool.
Or, so double pipe, empty object.
So val or like that, empty object. Cool.
Yeah. So essentially what we're doing here is like, we're getting the value from the database, and you might not have any value there at all because you'd be the first player, or like I just deleted the database or whatever. We still want something. So we're making sure that if initial snapshot that val is null, then we get something, like an empty object. Cool. Now let's do init player. That's a function that gets remote world objects as the input. We didn't write that function yet, but that's the next thing we're going to do in a second. And then two more lines in this function. One is let world objects from server.
That world objects dot from server.
No,
Or-
just from server. That's just me
All right,
naming
we are
things
defining
badly
it.
and very,
No, it's all
very
good. It's all good.
verbosely. Yeah. Ref with two parameters. The first is DB. The second is world objects. And the last line in this function is a function called onValue, camel case, which takes world objects from server.
Okay.
And the second parameter is an arrow function with snapshot as an input. And the body of the function is remote world objects equals snapshot.val. And we're done with this function, which essentially what happens here, you just need parentheses around the val.
Around the val.
Not around, sorry, after the val.
Okay, cool. That's all good.
So
yeah.
So what ends up happening here is that we're getting the first data from the server. We're doing some initialization with that, and then we're saying every time there is some change that in the server on the world objects, like object, yeah, we're updating our remote world objects variable. So again, to just wrap your head around this, we're doing initialization with the data we got from the server, and then saying every time something updates, that's the magic of Firebase, we save that locally. So we know that like we always have the most recent data in this variable called remote world objects, and we're going to be using that later to actually update stuff.
Got it.
Cool.
So this, the reason we're calling like this as a function, and the reason we're using these functions, this is going to continue to get updated as things change. Okay, cool.
Yeah. Okay. So lastly, we want to actually create the player avatar. So let's create that function init player.
It's called what player?
A function init player.
Init. Thank you.
Yeah. It's a function, not a const.
Yeah. Thank you.
And with it gets remote objects as the input. As the input of the
sorry, I don't know what I'm doing. Cool.
It's all good. We only have like 30 eyes on every single character that you're typing.
All good.
And I promise that after you'll see something visual after we finish with this function.
No worries. The wavy heat, the heat wave's already plenty entertaining for me. It's just really satisfying.
Cool. So let's do player avatar equals create avatar with player underscore UUID.
With?
Create avatar is a function.
Cool.
That receives all uppercase player UUID.
Okay, cool.
Do we do the thing where we define that?
I don't think we defined that. Didn't.
Okay, we did not, so we need to. So just before this function, let's do two things. One is const player UUID equals get cached. Yeah, that's a function. And the other thing we need to do is create a variable called avatar underscore data, all uppercase. And it needs to be let because we're going to be changing it in a second.
Cool.
Perfect. Okay, so back to init player, and what we're doing now is actually just creating the player avatar. So create avatar just creates the Pixi representation of the player avatar, but now we need to add some data for. Oh, you didn't save anything yet? Yeah.
Thank you, David.
Okay.
I appreciate you.
Yeah, thank you so much. Good catch.
Yeah. See, that's what I said. We have a wonderful safety net in the chat. Chat is always there to make sure that we're not failing too hard, or at least, yeah. Thank you, David.
Cool. So let's power through this next section. And let's do, to create the player avatar, let's do let new scale equals, okay, this is going to be a mathy thing, so be prepared. So
Cool.
Parentheses, and okay, it's min avatars, min underscore avatar underscore scale plus math.random times parentheses max underscore avatar underscore spawn avatar scale
Spawn.
Scale underscore scale
Cool.
minus
Spawn scale.
min,
inside the parentheses. Cool.
yeah, min underscore avatar underscore scale.
Cool.
And at the end of all of that, to fixed.
I'm sorry?
To fixed dot to fixed. It's gonna be, we're gonna fix, yeah, with 2.
Okay. Interesting.
Cool. What we're doing right now is trying to figure out how big your monster should be. And we're going to be defining like the bounds of like what's the smallest a small monster could be and what's the biggest a big monster could be. And this will be creating like a random between those two range. Meteorite sends why to fix 2. It doesn't matter, but since we're syncing everything up to a server, the floating point past the millionth digit doesn't really matter. So I don't want to be syncing extra data that I don't want to sync.
Cool. Good question.
Yeah, perfect question. So two other things. Let's do player avatar.x.
Let me just make sure. Now I'm going to get in the habit. Player avatar
.x equals math.random. Yeah, times window.inner width. Same for height.
And why?
Yeah, so essentially, random location for the player. This is cutting corners because, not everyone's going to have the same screen size. So you might get spawned in somewhere, like in a place that someone else will not be able to see. We'll pull through that.
Or that someone else would already occupy.
Yeah, we're not dealing
yeah.
with that. Yeah. Cool. Now let's do player avatar.scale.set. With new scale twice. Player avatar.type equals monster is a string. And then app.stage.addChild with player avatar. And lastly, world objects, brackets, player UUID.
Is that caps? Yeah.
Yeah. Equals player avatar.
Cool.
Yeah. So I'm just gonna quickly send you some of those constants on the chat. So just you don't have to type those.
Cool.
Just plop them somewhere. And the only thing is that I did them as uppercase, so we need to change those to uppercase in the function that we just wrote.
Got it. Let me put these up here.
Yeah, so there's just the one line where it says like max avatar, whatever.
Yeah.
Essentially, it's just like random numbers that tell you that a monster is like the scaling factor for the smallest monster is 0.8 and like
Right.
0.8, and the biggest one is 1.5, and it'll get bigger when when monsters eat one another, whatever.
Cool.
Yeah. Okay. So lastly, let's see, what else do we need? Where do we even initialize our in this player? I think we should already be seeing your monster up on the stage. So
Yeah,
if we
not
don't,
sure.
that's because it's because it spawned somewhere that we don't see, or that we have an error.
Yeah, let's check. Also, David, that's a really smart way to go. He says, I make sure I'm born on January 1st, 1970, everywhere I register, so I don't take any space in the date field. Genius. All right.
So no errors. Okay. That's fine. Let's see that we are actually calling init, and that we're actually. Can we look at the console of Chrome? Because sometimes
Sometimes it
the code pane doesn't really.
cannot read properties of
Yeah.
undefined,
Okay.
reading avatars. There we go.
So I can't see because like the text is too small.
Yep,
But,
yeah.
so let's see where we get player data. Okay, get player data. It's probably more boilerplate stuff.
If I pop this back in.
See.
Nope. There we go. Cool.
There's
Players. Is that what it said?
Oh, yeah. Okay. There's one thing we forgot, which is to actually fetch the avatar data.
Got it.
Yeah. So let's do, just before we set up the Firebase, we do one quick fetch.
Okay.
So before we set up the Firebase, we do.
Where's that? Firebase config? No.
That's after the config. After
config.
all the functions, before we do initialize app. Doesn't really matter. Just plop it anywhere. That's
Cool.
fine. Do fetch with a string literal, where the first is $avatar base URL.
Cool.
Yeah, and then slash monster dict. It's a string. Oh, and camel case. So it's not just monster dict without the dollar or whatever.
Ah, my fault. Okay.
Yeah.
Cool.
.json. Okay, cool. Next two lines are then, which takes response and spits out response.json.
Is it capital?
No, it's lowercase.
Thank you.
And lastly, then, once more, data.
Oh man, my typing is really falling apart. Data.
So it takes data.
Cool.
Yeah, and the body is avatar data. It's like one of the consts that we should have. Avatar data in big caps. Avatar. If we haven't defined it, we need to. Sorry about that. We probably haven't.
Do we have it? Whoa, Tanner! Thank you so much for the gifted sub. Who got it? To Nuha. Oh, awesome, Tanner! Thank you so much for gifting that sub. Great to see you. How you doing? Great. Yeah. Thank you for coming through. Always good to see you, Tanner. And thank you for that sub. Nuha will definitely appreciate it. Very kind to you. Where were we? Okay, yeah, avatar data. Here we go.
Yeah. So we just never defined avatar data.
Okay, cool.
So we just need to just plop down an empty variable.
Got it. So
somewhere we call it avatar. Yeah.
Yeah. Where were we working here? So
That's the thing when you're working with like code 10 and you have like the one huge pile of JavaScript needs to contain anything. Yeah, so you do avatar data just equals data.
Cool. Okay.
Okay, I think now we're good, and now we should be able to see a monster. There's like a syntax error somewhere.
Yeah, I think nope, didn't like it. Let avatar data. It's already been
We
declared.
did. Okay. So I'm just like, just remove that.
Initialize. Oh, we put an initialize app down there. That's why it wasn't coming up. I'll just get rid of it down here. Why not? Same thing.
Yeah.
Cool.
Okay. Yay!
Oh,
okay,
there
so
we
you
go.
got
Chat. Look.
Mysterious what?
Zucchini, maybe? I don't.
Zucchini?
Yeah, I think that's what it is.
Yeah,
Sorry
you
about
got
the flashing
mysterious
chat.
zucchini.
Mysterious.
Like a crab-looking thing.
I saw mysterious ZUC and I was worried it was going to say Zuckerberg. I was really hoping for zucchini. Mysterious Zuckerberg is, yeah, that's not a thing anyone wants. Awesome. So we've got a random avatar placed in a random spot. And so this is one of those monsters that was procedurally generated, right?
Yep, awesome. That's true. And you'll get the same monster regardless of like how many times you refresh.
Got it.
We haven't saved it to the server yet, so like he doesn't know your stats, but that's the monster that you have.
Awesome.
Okay, so let's make it move. Let's make it move. Yeah. So remember that we did the app.ticker.add that lets you kind of do like a loop that runs when the game itself. Yeah. So we're gonna add some stuff to there.
Cool, right here.
But before that, we need to do two things. I think I'm just gonna paste some code that's also some boilerplate, just for the sake of doing more interesting stuff on stream. Yeah,
love it.
So
cool. So you just pasted the setup controls, right? Where should I put those?
Yeah.
And put them anywhere?
Anywhere. Doesn't really matter.
Okay.
Here, essentially, it's just like we're tracking which keys are being pressed at any given moment, and just we have which keys are being pressed. We do this instead of doing something on press because we want stuff to happen as long as a key is pressed. So as long as like the right key is pressed, you want to have code that runs and says, okay, now move it right, now move it right, now move it right. And not just when the key is pressed once.
Not having to tap right 1,000 times to move across the screen.
Right. So I'm gonna give you another piece of code to paste. This time pasted in the ticker.
Okay. Right in the ticker. All right. If player avatar. There we go. So.
Okay.
We
so
pasted
this code.
No, we pasted. Wait, if player avatar. Where?
Yeah, it's cool. It's cool.
Yeah,
so what we have, if you just like move the code so it doesn't break.
Yeah, I'm nervous too because it flashes. So hold
on. Okay. So let's not do that.
I did it real quick and then I just don't want to
Yeah.
Trigger any.
By the way, Tanner Dolby says that they've not heard of Pixi, but they've used Phaser. So that means they actually did hear of Pixi because the Phaser rendering engine is Pixi. So Phaser is a JavaScript game library that has like, stuff like collision detection and working with movement and cameras and all that stuff that Pixi doesn't have because Pixi is just a renderer, but it builds on top of Pixi.
Awesome. That's good to know. I did not know that. I've heard of them both. Never knew that Phaser was like an abstraction on top of Pixi. That's awesome.
Okay, so let's take a look at the code that we just wrote.
Yeah.
We just pasted.
Is this it? No, that wasn't
it. was in the ticker. Yeah.
Here we go.
So essentially what happens here is that we're making sure that there's a player avatar, that we have the physical sprite. It wasn't deleted because the player just died or whatever, that it's there. We determined what is the speed of the player, because like I said, small monsters move faster than the bigger ones. This is just the map that maps how big you are to how fast you should go.
Got it.
And then there's some spoiler to pickups, but we'll ignore that real quick. And then we have the if pressed keys. We're just looking at which keys pressed and move the avatar based on how much, on whatever was pressed. So we can actually just kind of play with that. And
cool. So it should move now?
Yeah, it should move now.
All right. I'm doing quick move and refresh. Hold on, chat. All right, cool. So we're back. And yes, it is moving around. Chat, we've got a nice little monster that gets to fly around our desert wasteland. This is going great.
Yeah.
Awesome.
Okay, so now if someone enters this code pen, they get their own monster, but there is not much collaboration going on.
Okay.
So let's take care of that.
Should we just drop it and let people see it for now?
Yeah, for sure.
Come back to it. So let's do full page view. I think this will be. Let's see. Will that work? Yeah. Okay. So this does work. So chat, you can check this out and hang on to the link so that when we're ready, it'll get even cooler. But yeah, it should work here. So you should have your own thing, but you won't see ours and I won't see yours yet. So
yeah,
we're
but
gonna
we
add
will
that feature
in a moment.
Cool.
Yeah. Cool. Okay, so we're gonna need a couple of functions.
All right.
I'm gonna paste some of those real quick.
And I definitely hear you, Tanner. Getting something to move is like one of the coolest bits. Especially if you're using like a sprite that has animations and you get to see like your character walking as you go forward and back. Like that's a lot of fun. All right. So function sync player to DB. Should I pop that at the bottom?
Yeah.
Cool.
You do you. So we have two things here. One, sync player to DB, essentially, where did it just jump to? Okay, essentially just takes the player ID and the properties that we care about and just pushes them to the database, nothing too interesting. The other, sync self to DB, what it does is it checks that you have a player avatar, and if it exists, then it takes your player UUID, syncs your position, XY, scale, and type. Type doesn't change, but again, we're cutting corners here.
Cool.
So now
Tanner just asked how large is the scene for this? So it's completely based off of your screen, Tanner. So like as you say, like we're doing it quick for the thing. So if someone has a wide screen, they can just hide out in like I think like the bottom right corner forever. And no one will bother them. Where if you just have like my tiny screen like I have now, everyone will see that, right? So, yeah, but just an MVP of the game for sure. Not
Okay, so let's go back to init player.
Okay, all the way up. Wait, no, init player. Here we go. Got it.
Yeah, and the last line.
Cool.
Do update interval equals.
Is that
set interval?
Wait,
yeah, we'll need to define it somewhere outside.
Okay.
We'll need to do it outside because it's something that we need to clear later. Cool. I feel icky doing all these globals, but I mean CodePen. Update interval equals set interval. First parameter is sync self to DB. It's just not a function, just like it's a reference to a function. So yeah,
got it. Does this exist yet?
Yeah, we just defined it, so it's just in the bottom, it's one of the functions.
Okay, cool. So
maybe it's this one.
Cool.
Second parameter is 250, so every 250 milliseconds we'll sync our own player to the database.
Awesome.
There's some error or syntax error.
Is it because it's not? Missing parenthesis after argument list. Where?
So
Here.
which one is this? Did I paste
Update
something wrong? Update.
parentheses.
Yeah, there's some parentheses missing there. Is that my bad? I just simply.
I don't think so. I think it might be set interval. No, not that. I don't know. Maybe let's just see if saving it
okay.
fixes it.
Okay.
And it's gone.
So,
Oh, no, it's back.
that's weird.
Update
which
ref
one is this?
db world objects UID props. What did I do, chat?
Oh,
Update
wait.
interval.
One of them should be string. Oh, it should be a string, but it's not. It should be like a string literal, and it didn't copy it from from Discord for some reason.
Oh, because you didn't do the triple ticks, so it's that's where you get burned. Yeah, because it did it inside that. You see how in Discord it set that as code.
Okay.
Yeah.
Now I'm slightly smarter than before.
Perfect.
Awesome. Okay, so now we're just syncing our state to the database.
Oops.
And that doesn't help anyone else because you need to take that data and actually put that into your game. So what we're going to do now is create the function that takes the data from the server and then updates everyone's position.
Okay, cool.
Yeah, and once we plop that in, we'll be able to actually see everyone moving inside.
That's really fun.
Inside the game. Yeah. Okay. So let's inside that app ticker, which is again the loop where all the magic happens. App ticker function. Let's
give
this there.
A comment. Oh, wait, am I passing it again? I think I did. App.ticker. Nope, I'm not passing it. We've just had it a lot. App.ticker. Here we go. Cool. Into this.
So yeah. So let's do okay. I'm gonna paste one line for you.
Sounds
and
good.
Then hopefully remember to do the triple text this time.
Cancel save. No. Okay, it reloaded it for me. Great. All right. Putting that inside the ticker.
Yeah. So just where we are. So this is just like some defensive programming, so that if the the promises didn't return yet, or we're not doing anything with the data unless we're sure that we have some data.
We'll catch you on the next
so yeah, exactly. Or when the promise returns. Yeah.
Okay.
Cool.
This at the bottom
again,
or at the top?
not best, but the bottom.
At the bottom, cool.
Right, where we put it was fine because the movement stuff doesn't care about data.
Cool. Awesome.
Not the best programming paradigms. Again, I feel like I need to do this resignation every time I put in extra code smell, but yeah.
All good. Let's get, we don't have a ton of time left, so I definitely want to make sure we get people on the board and start to crash into each other.
So let me actually just, I'm going to paste the code that deals with the sync, and then we'll go through it because it's got to be lots to say how to type. So give me 1 second.
Sounds good.
But it's going to be magical.
Ben, good to see you. Thank you for coming through. Ben Myers, always great to see you, buddy. We are about to get you on the board, moving around. We've got a super cool thing where I can move my little monster around, and I got the best name, Mysterious Zucchini. So sorry, Ben, that one's taken. You're gonna have to get your own. We'll see what you get, but it's not gonna be that one. So
okay, so let's do the backtick game again.
Awesome. All right, object keys.
So this goes directly after you put that.
Yeah. Okay. So inside the ticker. Cool. Popping in the ticker. It's funny to say. All right. So object.keys, remote world objects for each. Okay. So for each of the remote world. Oh, we've already got someone in here. Hello, sweet dancer, sweet dander. I'm not sure who is that. And can you move to the left? I would love to see more of your beautiful monster.
Let's see if that works out. Do we have errors or do we have?
No, we're good. No errors.
are
Let
we
me
good?
reload this page. Chat. Oh, Toothbrush of Growing is here too. I didn't even know they were invited to this. Sweet Dandelion. That's what it is. Yeah. So yeah, this is
So this
now
is
how we
you,
hang
but it
out.
looks like this is you, but looks like stuff isn't getting updated. So
So they are moving, but it's not getting updated.
yeah.
Cool.
Oh, it's because let's see. It
Stray
should be
zucchini and the broccolets.
working.
Love it.
And we don't get any errors. Just want to make sure that
Unique alien of growing. I just got real big. Toothbrush of unique alien of growing and toothbrush of growing. Whoa, Zach strikes back. Thank you for the Prime sub. Really appreciate it, Zach. Thank you so much. Zach, are you in this? Do you have a fantastic monster name yet? This is just so good. Opher, this is going to be such a blast.
wait. Let's get everyone moving. That's
Yeah.
interesting bit here.
Oh, yeah.
But just want to make sure that we don't have like JavaScript errors because it might be.
I think it's WASD, Ben. Yes. Yeah. No. Sorry.
Should be keys.
It's arrows. Yes.
I mean, it could be WASD if you want to. You have your own code pen, like you do.
Right. Yeah. Well, you could definitely do both. I've definitely had both before, but yeah, right now it's just arrow keys.
Cool. So wait, we don't have any errors.
Nope.
I just want to make sure. Nope. So okay. So let's go through the code and figure out like what's happening,
Okay.
and then we'll think we can figure out there. So essentially, what's happening here is this. Okay, it's a little hard to discern where everything is broken up. But
yeah. Do you want to?
Yeah, maybe it'll be a little easier if we do like if you do that whole like extending game and
Yeah. Hold on. And awesome. So Zach is the toothbrush of growing. I love the name. It's so good. Great to have you, Zach.
Okay. So
yeah.
That's cool.
Little confetti. Ben sent some aliens our way, or some space invaders.
Okay.
Awesome.
So some context for this.
Okay.
When you move your player, you like as the character, when you move your own player in this game, your movement is deterministic. That is, if you move right one time, it moves by 10 pixels or 20 pixels, but you know how much the character moves, and no external forces are acted upon your player. So there's no like physics, or you're not like in a stream or on a like conveyor belt and something else moves you. So it's only movement that's deterministic, because if you press the yay.
Thank you for those bits, David. You are fantastic. Really appreciate it. My goodness, people are loving it.
Cool. So yay! Wow, it's happy times here.
Yeah.
Guys, I'm trying to explain multiplayer network sync code. Come on, here
with confetti.
Cool. So
hey,
I'll put through. Yeah. Don't test me. Okay. So you have your player, and your player is deterministic. So if you press right, you know where it's going to end up. That means you don't need to sync yourself to the server, right? Because you are the center of truth. Like you're the you know where your player is going to be, so you don't need to update yourself from the server, because you know where you are,
right?
As opposed to other games where some external force might affect you, but not in this specific instance. So that means there's a special, all the handling of updating stuff for the server only happens for other players. It doesn't happen for your player, because again, you know where you're moving, and the others need to know where you are. Okay, so that's why the first line is if we're looping through all of the remote world objects, so all the objects that we got from the server, and we're making sure that we're not like we are ignoring if we got ourselves in that data, because we don't care about that, because we know best what happens on our end. And then we do some. So if the object exists remotely but not locally, because maybe you just joined the game and you want to add all the different players from different servers. Then we check that the type is monster. That's the only type that we have now. And we create the avatar with the function that we had earlier. We set the X to the X that comes from the server. We set the Y. We set the type. And we also set the world object, which is, again, the world objects are a representation of the visual avatars that we have on the screen, as opposed to the data that we just got from the server. And we added to the stage. So that we saw that working. We have everyone up on the positions where they started. Yeah. We also have Heavenly Spaghetti with us. I'm glad to have you.
You can't play this game without Heavenly Spaghetti. That's what I've been saying for a while. God, it's so good.
Cool. So next is if the object exists both locally and remotely. So if it was already added, then the only thing we need to do now is to change the position based on the position that came from the server. We don't need to create it. So we pick up the object. It's the world object at the object key. That's the ID. And then we lerp the position from where it is in the server to where it is currently being rendered on our screen. If it moved a lot, but here on our end, on our client, it's somewhere completely else. We don't have like a weird jump between place to place. Instead, it moves a little bit toward the direction of where it should be. And because this happens on every subsequent frame, then it smoothly transitions to where it should be, which gives us this nice like real-time effect. Now this is the part that doesn't work, and it'd be nice if we can just like console log to see that if it's there at all.
Sure. What do you want to log?
Let's just log the object key to see if we get a. I feel like we're not there at all, so maybe that's. All
right, let me slide this over 1 sec. To make sure. So for chat who's confused about why I'm doing that, we get a bit of a flicker. I want to make sure we're okay. So we're getting.
So we were getting that, yeah.
Yeah.
So that's good. That's good. That means that like we should be seeing stuff move. So the only thing that comes and I do see in the database that people are moving around.
That's so cool.
I think I see people. Yeah, people are moving around. So
good job, people.
That means that the thing that possibly isn't happening is the update for the getting stuff from the remote server. That's probably where the issue lies.
Okay.
So we had a function called value on value. Sorry.
On value.
Yeah.
Okay.
And I feel like the issue is here. So on value, that's okay, here. So on value, that's probably where the issue is. Let's do console log for snapshot here to see that we are actually getting values. We're this close to seeing everyone move on screen.
Let's get
did we move the
I'm trying to find that other one.
It was in the ad.
Here we go. Cool. Uncaught path string that replaces not a function.
Wait, but that's weird because like we didn't see that earlier. Did we?
No. Or maybe we did, but we didn't see. Let me go to this.
Okay, so
path. Yeah, we're still seeing it. So path string.
Okay, so let's see.
It's for the sake of time. Do we want to paste any full code over or anything?
Let's just. I'll give you a link to my CodePen.
Okay.
Where this should just work.
Okay.
And the full code is there, so you can just like play around with that.
Did you drop it to me?
Just 1 second.
Okay, sorry. I heard what sounded like an enter key, so I wasn't sure.
It's it's a good skill to have to discern the type of key.
Yes.
From over.
It must have been a shift key. That always trips me up. Is that an enter key or a shift key? VJ, good to see you. Coming in hot with the puns. Love it. Whoever Squid Game, Horse Game is the new animal-based elimination game. So good. All right, so let me pull this. Oh, interesting. Oh, you've got a few of your. Oh, it's hitting the same. Got it. Okay. I was
It's the
like,
same
what?
database.
How is this? Yes. Okay, here, I'll pull this back over because it's the same stuff. So where am I? Am I on this? I might not be on this. Why wouldn't I be on? Oh, there I am. Mysterious
There you
zucchini. So I'm
are.
coming right for lettuce. So good.
So there's some extra stuff in here. So big monsters eat small monsters. Hopefully, there's the kill count below every monster. I don't see actual kills, so something weird is going on.
I don't think we're getting.
I think the pickups.
Unique alien of growing just ate me.
The pickups are behaving weirdly because, like, yeah.
Am I back yet?
But like live coding, that sort of stuff happens. Yeah,
So cool. I'm wondering if this pen. Oh, here we go. Here I am. I'm there. So I think I'm trying to make it back up. Interesting. I'm showing up on this one. This is okay. This one's older though.
Let's see.
Okay, we got lots of people there. Yeah. Where am I?
Oh, so
there we go. Mysterious zucchini. I am back.
I'm lettuce.
And the mushrooms intentionally make me like get all glitchy, right?
Yeah.
Like
so mushrooms make you harder to be eaten, and the feathers make you.
Oh, I keep crushing the unique alien of growing. Unique alien of growing is destroying me and hasn't moved at all.
There's some skulls that if you hit them, then you
do I die. Oh, okay.
Oh, you ate me, mysterious zucchini. You just ate me.
I did?
Yeah.
This is so cool. Deep dust of destruction is flying around the map. Massive turnip is really just kind of snapping back and forth. Mysterious zucchini. I need to run. I am. Oh no. Toothbrush of growing was coming right for me. Zach, don't even. I know Zach is toothbrush of growing, and I'm just trying to avoid them. He is so fast. Oh my god. This is amazing. This is super, super cool that you can do this with Firebase and CodePen.
Yeah.
I didn't know you could do multiplayer games with CodePen. This is so.
I mean, it's just a matter of basically of saving the data somewhere and retrieving it fast enough.
Sorry, chat. I was giving you. So chat's moving around, but they don't see us. Chat. I just dropped you Opher's pen. So there's the new one. You should have your same character and everything.
Right. Yeah.
But this is, oops, didn't mean to do that flash. Sorry about that, chat. Apologies. But yeah, here I am. I am Mysterious Zucchini, and there's Sweet Dandelion. Massive Turnip is still just like popping bigger and smaller, bigger and smaller. Massive Turnip, are you like hitting a cheat code? Who's Massive Turnip? Who's hacking already? We already have someone hacking the game and ruining it for everyone else. Massive Turnip, reveal yourself. Who are you? And how are you doing that? Old pencil. I am gobbling up somebody. So how does the collision detection work? I know we kind of skipped past a couple
very
things.
Stupid way. It's very stupid. So okay, just games and game development in general is this thing where everything is a rabbit hole. Every single thing that you want to do, you want to do animation, it's a rabbit hole. You want to do sound, it's a rabbit hole. You want to do text, it's a rabbit hole.
Yeah.
And collision detection is one of those because you want to. Usually, games have a lot of objects, and you want to make sure that it isn't computationally expensive for things to test against each other.
Yeah.
Plus, your shapes of the players might not be rectangular or whatever, so that makes these things
it's into
harder.
Hitboxes and everything, right?
Yeah. So there's different ways, like quad tree algorithms and other curse words to how to like performantly do this. I don't do any of that. Instead, I just look at the radius of each monster, treat it as if it was a circle,
Okay.
and test each monster, like test your player against each other monster. So
Got
it's
it.
like in terms of complexity, or like n. One super important thing that I forgot to say, like multiplayer games need a server. Yeah.
Wait, what? Multiplayer games need a
Multiplayer
server?
need a server, right?
Right.
They need someone to be the responsible adult and make sure that nobody's cheating and everyone's, getting. Sorry.
All good?
Sorry. Yeah, everyone
Okay.
getting their fair share of play and that nothing foul is happening, right?
Lucy, thank you.
That's usually called an authoritative server, as in like
Okay.
everyone's connecting to one server and that server mediates what should and shouldn't happen. And we don't have any of that at all. So this game is not secure. This is not the way to
No,
do games. So
absolutely.
instead,
Especially
what we
especially
have
when you
here,
said I determine where I am, right?
yeah.
Especially, yeah. I mean, this is definitely the opposite of like a secure thing. The cheating would be very easy, but
So the way monsters eat each other here is each monster is responsible for itself. If it
okay.
detects some other player was in the vicinity, so it says, okay, I was eaten, and removes itself. So you see where this could be problematic from like an actual game standpoint.
Right.
So the whole hit detection just happens locally for yourself. So you're testing yourself against everyone else, which is both
Got
like
it. It's the
not an
honor
ideal way
system.
to do it, but exactly, this game runs on the honor system.
Yeah,
Yeah.
it's playing
Um,
like guns as a kid, where you go like, I got you, and you can say, no, you didn't, you missed me, or
exactly.
yeah, you got me, right? Like just
But
finger
even if you're
guns.
not malicious, the fact that you're seeing something different from everyone else
Mm-hmm.
means that there's that.
Yeah.
But for the sake of doing something like this, but as for your other point, you did not. You know you can do that with JavaScript. Can I kindly point you out to your URL that at lance dash gg at github.io?
Sorry. You want me to go somewhere?
Yes,
All right.
yes, I
I'm going
do.
where?
Um, Miro, I said I wish someone would pick up the phone in Firebase. I think Firebase is on fire right now with everyone's movement. Like their servers were not designed for this. So yeah, lance.gg at github.io.
At or
Sorry, .github.io.
oh, cool.
Of course, I got it wrong. Lance dash
Lance
at
-GG.
GitHub hyphen. Yeah,
There
yeah.
we go.
Dash and hyphen are the same thing.
Oh,
This is
this is
an open
cool.
source library that I wrote a while back.
Oh, you
That
really?
yeah. It's
Oh,
not super actively maintained
well, then
now
there's no
that I have
excuse
two
for you to get that
kids.
URL wrong. See, like I was like, oh yeah, I don't. You come on.
But it's like it's a node-based server that does all this multiplayer stuff, like but for realsies, authoritative server, and like allows you to do actual multiplayer games with JavaScript.
Oh,
Um, and like my idea was to turn this into just and the de facto way to do multiplayer games with JavaScript. It's a big dream, takes a lot of time. I
yeah.
didn't count on the fact that with I wouldn't have all that time with two kids, but I'm planning to go back to it at some point.
Wait, kids take time? Oh, okay.
Right,
I need to
right. Who'd have
change
thunk
some
it?
life goals and plans. All right, that's not what I want to
But
sign up for.
just that's why I love web dev and JavaScript in general.
This is so cool.
It's so cool the fact that you can do with that.
Is Sprocket League like anywhere that I can just drop into it? Because I'm a
It
big
was
fan
it
of
like
Rocket League. Okay,
really okay.
yeah,
So I can for next time I can prop up a server just so that we can
there we
do that
go.
in chat.
And
Yeah.
then you've got your Super Smash
Um,
Brothers over
yeah.
here.
I hope they don't sue me, but that name is completely
It's
different.
identical, yeah.
Yeah.
Wiggle
Um,
Asteroid. This is so cool. BB-8. This is awesome.
so again, it's just the fact that you can do all of that with JavaScript is just simply incredible
Yeah.
and amazing. And there are some other companies and like projects in the space that do similar things, and that's why and you can just do view source or whatever, and I don't know, go to GitHub and check it out and console log, and it's so much easier than doing stuff with Unity on our real engine.
Right. Yeah.
Yeah. So this one actually works in a VR as well because it's based on iframe.
Oh, that's cool. That's really neat.
Yeah.
So cool, Opher. This is I did not expect this. Like, by the way, I
escalate,
created this
yeah.
entire library that handles this real time multiplayer JavaScript. Yeah, because like is it like Pusher or something that handles similar stuff?
Sockets all the way. Yeah.
Well, I'm just to make sure I'm understanding you. There's like a company or a library called Pusher. I think is what they're called. Do you know what I'm talking about? And
okay,
got
they
it.
do like real time pushing of data
Got
from
it.
a server,
And
but this is bi-directional. So you have like data coming to,
got it.
from player to player through the server with all the security. There's like all the stuff that we talked about: interpolation, extrapolation,
Got it. So it's a bit
all sorts
more
of stuff that is
nuanced.
really unique to doing games.
Okay. Got it.
Yeah.
That's so cool. That's so cool.
So I mean that's why I love the web. I said that already, but I mean that's.
Oh my goodness! Did you see that?
Wow.
Whoa! Someone has won clearly, and I don't think we're going to. Game over. GG's. Yeah, I think that's.
I mean, give someone an open key to a database server,
right.
Something like that. It's bound to happen.
Oh my gosh, that is really fun. Oh no, here comes Deep Dust. It's Deep Dust. Deep Dust of Destruction has an appropriate name. Deep Dust. Who are you? I'm so curious. I'm so curious who Deep Dust is. Show you. Oh, Deep Dust is back to 0, not me. Jacob, that's making me think it's you. But this is just really, really cool. Yeah. Oh no! He got huge again. Oh my gosh, the little glitches and stuff almost make it like not almost, absolutely make it better because it's just like unpredictable and fun and wacky, and that's what we're all about here.
Right.
Opher, thank you so much. We got a question in chat. So even those more advanced multiplayer web games you've shown us are based on the concept of player action, database, use database saved action to render other players.
Basically, yes. It really. So it's very nuanced depending on the game, but that's the gist of all like real-time games and games that aren't turn-based or like when you need to constantly update positions and stuff to reflect a living game board. There's again a lot of nuance. Like real-time strategy games work in a different paradigm called step lock. Right.
Okay.
But I mean that goes way deeper than your standard web stuff dev, and that's why I created Lance, because like I wanted to be able to give people a way to work on game ideas without having to deal with all this disgusting network stuff.
Yeah, that seems
and
like
doing that is an undertaking. Yeah, it's a huge undertaking. But it's really, really cool. Like the fact that it connects people together, which is kind of like what all of this is about, is what gets me excited. Like, and I think in a way, a game is kind of like the ultimate art form because it combines so many different things. Like it's like the art and the music and like
storytelling
and the playing.
Yeah, I think over the last couple decades, video games have definitely garnered a lot more respect from people for it being like a true art form. Or before it didn't really get that, but yeah, I think you'll be hard pressed to find someone today that says that games are not art, or at least can't be art, right? So now play something on the guitar.
So I'm really mindful of doing any sort of music thing on Twitch, because we don't want Alex to get what's the term for that?
DMCA'd or copyright strike. If you play so good that the bots go, we detect I don't know, Adele. He's playing Adele accurately. and we think this is the genuine article, I'll be impressed.
That's my fear. That's my concern. That's why I'm not doing that Mio deck. But if you want, I'll plug in my band. This is Telian.
Oh, nice.
Yeah, that's my band. If you go to telian.band, there's music there. You can see me playing. Alex can't do that because he'll get the DMCA'd. I once
is your stuff copywritten?
Yeah, it is.
I think.
I mean, it's like I give you permission to play it, but I don't know if the Twitch automatic algorithm will catch it and then do awful stuff with it. Because it happened to me. I played my own music on stream while streaming, and I got DMCA'd, and it was like a really weird thing where I had to prove that I'm me because I was suing myself. Like I was issuing a DMCA against myself. It was like this whole weird thing where
I hope you win the lawsuit
and lose it at the same time.
Yeah. Oh my God, we're getting. This is you're a terrifying monster, Deep Dust of Destruction. You're terrifying. Yeah, so I'm unable to go to that site, but if you want to drop it in the chat or in the Discord a bit later, for some reason it's getting like an error. So tilion.band is giving me
TILLIN.
Can you show me the shirt?
TILL.
LLIAN. That'll do it. Okay,
yes.
Sorry, I did not read the font well. There we go. Awesome. All right, I dropped it in there. Lotus Graveyard. Very cool, man. Yeah. Very cool.
Actually, didn't plan to plug it on the show, and I just that's the shirt. I know that
I didn't plan to plug it, but I did wear the shirt.
Yeah, I know.
And positioned my camera.
I'm
completely messing with you. It's all good. I don't want to talk about it, but just here's my guitar. I don't want to mention it though. No.
Would it have been better if we just
the dog
did the doggo cam? Yeah,
doggo cam.
He's been a champ this entire stream.
He's awesome. And David, thank you again for the bits. You all have been fantastic with the subs and the bits today. Thank you so much, chat. I hope you had a blast. That was so fun. I really am excited to see what this chat and what this community comes up with in terms of using real-time databases like Supabase, like Firebase, like anything else to just come up with more amazing, wacky stuff like this. Chat, if you make anything off of this, or YouTube watching after the fact, if you make anything off of this, let us know, because I know I want to see it, and I'm sure that Opher would want to as well. This is just so cool.
And do hit me up on Twitter or stuff, if you do stuff, or if you come across interesting, interactive, I'll gobble it all up. I love that stuff.
Awesome. Well, thank you so much again, Opher. Anything else you want to plug? Any other bands? Any other sites? Anything?
No. I mean, everything I've already done was excessive. So.
Oh no, it's all good. All
Not
good.
You gave us dead horse.
You can't do that here. No, you gave us so much of your time and so much insight, and thank you so much. I really appreciate it. Chat, can we get a couple more of those disorienting confetti blasts for Opher? Chat, you were fantastic. Thank you so much for hanging with us. And Opher, thanks again, man. That was an absolute treat.
So much fun. Yeah.
Awesome. Well, chat, hang in there. We are going to find somebody to raid. Yeah. So, you just get used to talking through it, honestly. Yeah, so, David. I am. Hold on. I'm hearing myself because I went to Twitch to go find something to raid. David, thank you so much for the freaking bits. You are too generous. Thank you. Truthfully, yeah. I need to get you, or remind me to add emotes so that you get some, because no one's been doing bits, so I never added them in. But you more than earned it. So thank you so much, Amit, Tanner, David, Jacob, Abracadabra. Great to see you. Thank you so much, everybody. Thomas, great people. Ben, everybody, take care. We will see you tomorrow. Oh, I can't go without plugging tomorrow. Tomorrow we have Matt Perry coming by to teach us Motion One, new wappy library. He's created Framer Motion. He's created Motion One. Amazing animation expert, going to come and teach us this new library. I'm so excited for this one. Don't miss this. Tomorrow, a couple hours earlier than this one started, okay? So check this out. Be here tomorrow, and we will see you tomorrow. Take care, everybody. Bye.
Bye.